Honestly, it's not as hard as you might think, because it's not normally for me about looking for reasons to keep them in the consider pile. It's more about the things that make me dismiss them. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just the, like I said, the letter, and it's so obvious when you haven't slightly tweaked your CV because of the job that you're applying for, and it only needs to be slight tweaks. Yeah, and then just don't make mistakes. Making mistakes in your letter and stuff. I mean, like, if you're making that kind of mistake at the beginning of your career with me, what are you going to do when you're working for me? You've got to have some attention to detail. So maybe I'm a bit of a stickler. Other ways to stand out, I don't know. I think you can approach us in different ways. You can check us out on social media. You could connect that way. LinkedIn, for me, there's too much. I get too many messages and I tend to ignore them. But it probably is a good idea to look for people who work for the organisation and connect with them.
I mean, for me, it's also about reading the job advert and tailoring your CV to that job, because the amount of CVs we get here at Portakabin that are generic CVs, and you kind of read the CV and think, well, that doesn't even match the job that you're applying for. So just take a little bit of time and read the job advert, print it out, get a highlighter pen and highlight your CV that corresponds to the job ad that you're actually applying for, because that way you'll know that your CV matches to that particular job. The other thing as well is once you apply, because loads of people now use LinkedIn, they use recruitment companies are kind of a dying breed now, because most companies do their own resourcing now. And one of the top tips is once you've sent your application in, it's very rare to hear back from a company now unless you are chosen to go through to interview. But don't be shy, send them an email. Most companies' HR and resourcing email addresses are hr@portakabin.com or resourcing@portakabin.com. The likelihood of them being something different is really, really different, is really unusual. So don't be afraid to follow up that application with a polite email to say, just wanted to confirm that you've received my email, because that shows me that you've got something about you, you've got some oomph about you, and you're actually doing something proactive. So that's all I could add, really.
If you're going to send a CV in, make sure it's interesting, make sure it's full of information about who you are as a person, not just your skills. We're all about attitude in our business. The people with the right attitude, we will take on. So tell us about your passions. Show the things that you do that are over and above your day-to-day life, such as maybe some volunteering work or things that show teamwork, communication skills and determination, really.
So
Yasmin, can I just add to that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I would totally say, don't bother sending me a CV unless you send a letter with it. I still cannot believe how many people just send out a CV and it would take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to write. It only has to be short, but something that shows me that you're applying to my business, and I get that across. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.